Education loans are easy, but interest rates? How to choose? What is the lowest interest rate? Don't worry. In this video, I will tell you everything about abroad education loan interest rates. So let's start. Hello friends, my name is Pratibha and I am from Gyanthan. Gyanthan is an education financing marketplace that helps students like you in getting abroad education loans from government banks, private banks and NBFCs. We provide you free of cost assistance in getting the best possible loan product for your abroad studies. So you can get in touch with us by checking your loan eligibility. The link is given in the comment box and also in the description for your convenience. Also, I would humbly request you to subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on abroad education and abroad education loans. So, education loans ease the mental strain of gathering the money to finance abroad studies. They are easy, accessible and hassle-free. Well, easy and hassle-free only when the loan is taken through Gyanthan. The main component of an education loan after you have taken it and the part that is bound to trouble you the most is the interest rate. Yes, the interest rate. This is the reason people hesitate to take an education loan in the first place. A lot of misconceptions surround it, which often discourage people. When you know something in detail, the fear of it disperses. So let's get to know about this dreaded interest rate in detail. Let's start with what is an interest rate. So interest rate is the amount of money charged on the principal amount by a lender for its money or asset. So if you're using the lender's money or asset, the principal amount that's charged on it is termed as interest rate. So if you borrow money from someone, you will have to pay some monthly amount over and above the principal amount. In simple terms, it is the cost of borrowing money from a bank or other financial institution. So when you borrow money to fund your abroad education, you are charged an interest rate which you will have to repay. The total amount you repay monthly is called an equated monthly installment, also known as EMI, which is a sum of principal amount and interest. So next, we talk about how is interest rate calculated on an education loan. So here you need to recall the basic math chapter that we've all learned probably in class 5. So there are two ways to calculate an interest rate. One is the simple interest and the other is the compound interest. Simple interest is based on the principal amount of a loan or a deposit. In contrast, a compound interest is based on the principal amount and the interest rate that accumulates on it in every period. Now let's understand how many types of interest rates are there. So there are mainly two types of interest rates offered by lenders. One is the floating interest rate and the other one is the fixed rate of interest. A floating rate of interest is a rate of interest that can increase or decrease during the loan tenure. The increase or decrease is a result of the market conditions. Public sector banks offer less volatile interest rate, that is, interest rates won't increase too much, whereas private banks and private lenders offer interest rates that might increase more than 2% during the loan tenure. The interest rate offered by them has two elements, the base rate plus spread. So when the base rate changes, the floating element also changes, leading to a change in the EMIs as well. Then we move on to what is a fixed interest rate. So a fixed rate of interest is an interest that stays the same throughout the loan tenure. It will not change even if there's a change in the repo rate of the Reserve Bank of India, the RBI, or the lending rate of the lender. The EMIs remain the same as well. So which interest rate is better, the floating or the fixed? Now this depends from person to person. Some borrowers want to stick to the market rates and choose a floating rate of interest. A floating rate of interest, while carrying the risk of increasing interest, and EMI also carries the benefit of a lowered interest rate. A lowered interest rate due to market fluctuation will also lead to lowered EMIs, and a fixed rate will lead to no fluctuation in the EMIs or the interest rate. There is no surprise at all. But this also means that if the lending rate of the lenders decreases, you won't benefit from it and you will have to repay the amount by the same interest rate. For an education loan, it is always better to go for a fixed interest rate as the student makes the repayment. At the start of your career, it is wise to play safe and go with no surprises. Now, I'm going to tell you what is the MCLR in education loans. This is a word we are sure many of you have read at least once while researching on education loans. So have you ever wondered what it is, MCLR? So it is the minimum interest rate below which a financial institution cannot lend. The full form of MCLR is the marginal cost of funds based lending interest rates. Back in 2016, the RBI saw that banks were offering different base interest rates to different borrowers. While prime borrowers got a lower rate, which is a lower base rate, some ordinary customers were cheated with a higher base rate. To curb this practice, the RBI introduced MCLR, which ensured that every customer got the same base rate. The banks are mandated to publish at least 5 MCLR on their website overnight, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, and 1 year. So this brought much indeed transparency to the financial institutions and ensured that their customer benefited from the reduced interest rates. You should know that MCLR can and will change with the change in the repo rate of the RBI. So if the repo rate is increased, the MCLR of the bank will increase, leading to an increased rate and increase in the EMI or the loan tenure. As a customer, you can choose which aspect of your education loan should increase. The tenure, that is, to keep the EMI unchanged, or the EMI to keep the tenure unchanged. This is how the market works. So as we mentioned, the fixed interest rate does not change with the market trends. It's only the floating rate that changes. So the MCLR is linked only with the floating rate of interest and not with the fixed interest rate. Now I'm going to move on to what are the base and the spread of the abroad education loans. So the base rate is a rate below which a lender cannot lend money. The spread is the margin based on customer and product specific factors. So the base rate and MCLR may seem similar at first glance. However, there is a difference. The base rate is based on the average cost of funds calculated by considering the minimum profit margin, whereas the MCLR is based on the marginal current cost of funds calculated by considering the tenor premium. So spread is added to both these rates as well as the MCLR. Now let's come to a very commonly asked question. How is education loan EMI calculated? Now we know how interest rate is calculated in an education loan. But how is the EMI calculated? This is one tricky question and there are too many variables. An interest rate is influenced only by market trends. But an EMI is affected by the loan amount, type of interest rate, loan tenure, and the duration of the course. Any changes in these elements will result either in a high or a low EMI. So the best way to calculate your EMI or your education loan EMI rather is to use the Gandhan EMI calculator. Various customizations will allow you to find the right mix of those variables. It is important to select the right loan tenure so as to find the EMI amount that you can manage to pay. Use the tool to find the perfect combination of interest, EMI, loan tenure, etc. and save the EMI schedule for future use. So when does interest in education loans start? The interest on an education loan starts as soon as the amount is disbursed to the applicant's account during the study period, and most lenders only charge simple interest. After the study period plus 6 months end, compound interest is charged. So now let's know whether an education loan interest can be reduced or not. Yes, it can be. Excited to know how? Well, there are various subsidies offered by the government to reduce the financial burden on students. A few of them are the Padho Pradesh, the Dr. Ambedkar Central Sector Scheme, and Central Sector Interest Subsidy Scheme. So the first one quickly I tell you about is the Padho Pradesh scheme. This interest subsidy on education loan schemes to pursue abroad education is provided to students belonging to the minority communities. Then we talk about the Dr. Ambedkar Central Sector Scheme. It is an interest subsidy scheme for abroad education loans provided to promote the foreign education of other backward class and economically weaker classes. Then what is the Central Sector Interest Subsidy? Well, it is an interest subsidy scheme for economically weaker sections. So if the family income is not more than 4.5 lakhs Indian national rupees, the student can avail of this interest facility. Now, let me tell you about how you can apply for an interest subsidy on abroad education loans. The subsidy can be availed by contacting the concerned bank or lender. You will have to submit an application and certain documents such as an original income certificate, an interest subsidy agreement, a student letter issued by the institute, self-declaration, and some additional documents. So what is the interest rate offered by public sector banks? So we at Gyanthan always prefer public banks for abroad education loans. There are quite many benefits that a student can avail to further lower their financial strain. Apart from these benefits, public banks also offer lower interest rates, charge less processing fees, and other better terms and conditions. So public banks also offer a moratorium period, a period during which the borrower has to make no repayments. Surely, simple interest is charged on the disbursed amount but is added to the principal amount and distributed equally among the EMIs. After the moratorium period ends, compound interest is added and charged. Typically, public banks charge interest rates from between 7.6% to 9.5% per annum. Terms and conditions vary from bank to bank. Fine, now let's understand what is the interest rate offered by private banks. So there are several private banks in the market offering both types of abroad education loans, secured loans and unsecured education loans. We always advise students to take secured education loans from public sector banks only because of the benefits that they carry. Unfortunately, public banks do not offer unsecured education loans above 7.5 INR, 7.5 lakhs Indian national rupees, which won't be enough to fund education in a foreign country. The simplest solution is to take an unsecured education loan from a private bank. Typically, public banks charge interest rates from 10.5% to 13.5% per annum. The terms and conditions again vary from bank to bank. So the next question that comes in the running is, are there other lenders offering unsecured education loans? We've asked this question because we have an answer. Fine. So yes, there are other lenders as well, known as non-banking finance companies or NBFCs. These private lenders raise their money from financial institutions and private investors. They act as a bank, meaning they can lend money and offer other financial services but do not hold a banking license. A foreign education loan from NBFC might be heavy on your pocket because of the rate of interest offered is a little higher. But then, let me also tell you it is a little higher than when compared to other lenders. Additionally, students have to make simple interest payments during the study period, meaning they need a co-applicant to apply for these loans. The EMIs will start after the study period plus 6 months are over. So typically NBFCs charge interest rates from 10.5% to 16% per annum. Terms and conditions again would vary from lender to lender and case to case. So which bank has the lowest rate of interest? So with the help of the above tables, you would be able to conclude that public banks offer the lowest interest rates. As an applicant, you will have to pledge collateral to apply for a loan from government banks. But what if you don't have any collateral to pledge? Then, private banks are your next best bet. Actually, your best bet is to contact Gyanthan. Talk to our education loan counselor to discuss all the available options and then apply for the loan from a lender that suits your needs and requirements. Forgo all these hassles by comparing of interest rates and terms and whatnot. Let us handle that is so that you can focus on your admission and your application process. You know by now, we do not charge you anything from our students. Our financial advice is absolutely free of cost. So that's all for this video, guys. I hope you got the understanding of education loan interest rates. If you have any questions, please feel free to post them in the comment box. Keep watching our videos and thanks a lot.